Hi, I'd like to talk about WordPress today, and what I'd like to do is sort of mock up a WordPress theme that will, redesign this site here called the Nob Hill Gazette. And I'm going to start with a starter theme, and I will assume that you can install WordPress and create posts and pages, and that you'll have some of that already set up. So I'm going to just worry about getting the theme working for this video. Okay. So I've created a starter theme here on my GitHub account, and I'll put a link to it in the video notes, right? But anyway, this is the folder here called Nob Hill Gazette, and this folder here, just has some files in it that I'm going to work with, and we'll be using the unsemantic grid, so I'll talk about that also. Looking at Fetch here, you can see that when I go to this folder here, this is my WordPress installation, and I'll assume that you have WordPress installed. And in WordPress, we don't tinker with any of the files here. The only files we're going to work with or edit are in this folder here called WP Content. And looking in WP Content, you'll see that I have a themes folder, and in the themes folder, I have two folders here. One of them is NHG2 and the other one's Nob Hill Gazette, and this is the folder where this theme is located, so you can see all of these same files are in here. Okay, so anyway, so you'll copy this folder to your themes directory. Okay, and then what you'll want to do is you'll want to go to your WordPress site, go to the admin panel, and go to the Appearance menu, and then go to Themes, right? Appearance Themes. And in here, you'll see a theme called Nob Hill Gazette Theme. This was another one that I was working on, but this is the one that we're going to work on right now. So this theme right here, you'll want to activate it by clicking Activate, right? And then it should move up here, and when you visit the site, it should look something like this, okay? So, I have content in here, so you'll have to add some content to your site to see all this stuff, but essentially it'll just look like, nothing. There's no styles here, okay? The next thing you'll want to do is you'll want to create some categories, okay? So my theme's going to use some categories to organize information. So under posts here, you can see I have categories, and you can go in here and create some categories for your sites. I took some of the items from the Nob Hill Gazette navigation and made it into categories here that I have, right? So I'm going to use those to organize the content on my site. Okay, so anyway, so I'm going to assume that you can get that working, and then we'll just talk about designing the site, okay? So the first thing is this site, the sample files that I gave you define a couple WP Nav menus, okay? And the nav menus are defined in functions PHP. So when I look at functions PHP, what I'm going to see is these two lines right here. They say register nav menu. And what this does is you define a location name and a description for the menu, okay? And you can define as many menus as you want. You can see I've done this twice. Register nav menu, and there it is again. The submenu here, I'm actually not going to use it on the site. I just put this line here in here to show you that you could do more than one of these. You can have as many as you like. I'm going to use this first one, okay? So this menu, notice that it has the name main menu. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go into my site and create a nav menu. So I'm going to go to Appearance, Menus, and under Menus, I'll need to create a brand new menu. And you can call this menu anything you like. I'll call it Nob Hill Menu, okay? Right? Or you could call it, yeah, I guess that's a pretty good name. I'll call it Nob Hill Menu, right? And then you'll click Create Menu. And in here where it says Menu Settings, you'll see that it has a category called Theme Locations. And then this defines two locations, main menu and submenu, and those names match the names that we have here, main menu and submenu. So what's happening there is when we register a nav menu, it creates these boxes here, And when you create a menu up here, when you create the structure for the menu, you can assign this menu to a location down here by checking the box. So I'm going to check the first box here because the menu that I create above will go to the main menu location, right? And I'll show you where that's defined in the theme files in a moment, right? So the first thing I want to do is I want to add some links up here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple category links. I have a lot of categories, but the actual, not all of them show up here because I don't have content under every category. If you want to add links that don't show up here, click View All, and then you'll see everything. WordPress just doesn't show you everything. If there's no posts under that particular category, it won't show a box for it, right? So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put features as a menu item. So what I did is I checked the box for features and clicked Add to Menu. And now you can see features shows up right here. And then I think I'm going to click on departments and click Add to Menu, right? And then maybe after that I'll do, well, I don't know, let's see, maybe we'll add social calendar as its own area there. And then maybe photos. And then on the last one, I don't have a category for this, but I think I have a page called archives. So I'm going to put the archives on this last one here. And this is a link to pages, so you can add links to pages. And if you want to create a custom link, you can add a custom link also, okay? The menu also supports nested items, or so if you want to create a drop-down menu, you can do that too. The actual effect of the drop-down menu is handled in your style sheet, so it doesn't, just by adding the things here won't create the drop-down automatically. It'll set everything up so you can make a drop-down, but the drop-down actually, the effect has to be done with your style sheet, and I'll do that later. But anyway, so we've got this here, and then maybe under departments, I want to add a couple departments as a sub-menu, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll click on caring causes, bits and bobs, dwellings and decor, and I don't know, how about spending and taste, I don't know, right? So I'll click on those guys, and then now I've got these extra menu items at the bottom, but like I said, I want these to be sub-items to department. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab them and drag them up here, and then I'll drag them a little bit to the right, okay? And what I'm doing is I'm waiting till that little box goes right to the spot that I want, right? Over here, this would be a sub-item under dwellings and decor, but I really just want it under departments, so I'll drag it a little bit to the left there, and I'll put this one here, and there you go. And so what's going to happen is WordPress will make a UL for all of the top-level items. So each one of these features, departments, social calendar, parties, archives will be a list item in the top-level UL. And then this LI right here for departments will have a UL inside it that will contain these list items here, right, for bits and bobs and caring causes, etc., right? And then we can use our style sheet to turn that into a drop-down, okay? So once you've created your menu and you've checked the box down here for main menu, what you'll want to do is you'll want to click Save Menu, okay? And so now your menu is saved. Okay, so if we go to the site now and we visit the site, you'll see that I have a list of links here for my menu, right? So there's features, departments, bits and bobs, dwelling, and decor, right? So everything is there. This menu shows up here for a reason, right? And the reason it shows up there is because in my site here, when I look at header, I'm going to edit the header file here. And this header is shared on all the pages, right? So let me edit this here. So this area will be at the top of every page. It represents the top section of every page, right? So when I look at this file, you'll see it's got the doc type, HTML, head tag. In the head tag, it has a bunch of stuff, like the title and the meta tag and some links, right? And then here's the beginning of the body tag. And then there's a header here, right? And inside the header, you can see I have a line of code here that says WP Nav Menu. and then it says array, theme location, and then the theme location says main menu. And if you recall, that was the name of the menu that we registered here called main menu. Okay, so the reason that our menu shows up is because, the reason it shows up in that location is because we created a menu here under menus, right? And we set the theme location to main menu, right? And in our file here in header, we use WP Nav Menu to display one of our menus, and we define the location with this name, main menu, and that's the same menu, right? So that menu shows up here, right? It's got the same name. Now this one's actually the lowercase version, so we can use, here we can actually use either this name or this name, right? But either one of these represents this menu, okay? So anyway, so that should set up your menu, and then I'll make another video to talk about some of the other stuff. So hopefully, you get that working, and that gives you some ideas there. So thanks for watching.